struggle you are in today is the strength you need in tomorrow. In these struggling situations, we, the Gurukulam family, the teachers and students, had made it an opportunity. So, I know you are eagerly waiting for the classes. Let's start our session. This year, I am going to handle your computer application subject. I am Priya Arki. This year, you have a practical and theory exams. For this, you have to maintain a theory notebook and a practical rough record. Generally, the exams on practical for 40 marks, theory for 60 marks and 20 marks for C. So, totally you are writing for 120 marks. And it will be added to the first year marks out of 8. This year, it will be a very easy subject and you can score more marks easily because you have a practical exams and theory which is related to the practical contents. So, I think you are going to be enjoy this year. Let's start our session. The first of all, we are going to study about the first chapter is about review of C++ programming. It is related with all the content which you have studied in the last year from 4th to 7th chapters. We are brushing up the basic contents of C++ programs in this chapter, which is very important for our practicals and theory section. So, let's start that. The first section is about an overview of C++. Do you remembering about these contents or the important part in C++ program? Yes, it is the main component which is we have to study in C++ program is character set. Character set, it is a fundamental unit of a programming language. Like in every language, if it is Malayalam or English, we are studying the basic alphabets and other contents. So like that, you have a character set in C++ program also. It is 3 sections, that is alphabets, letters, digits and some special symbols. Alphabets, it is generally divided into the capital letters and small letters. And the next content is tokens. What is the tokens? In every constructions or in every construct of a language, you have particular words or a special set of symbols. Such symbols, that is such building blocks of a programming language is known as tokens. The fundamental building blocks in a C++ program is known as tokens. It is generally divided into these parts. First one is keywords. So let's see what is keywords. Can you see any one or two keywords which is you are remembering? Yes. So the first one is about keywords, that is the reserved words which is convey a specific meaning to the compiler, which is already saved in the C++ compiler or in the software. That is, it has a particular function with that programming languages. For example, you will get an idea by seeing the examples. Auto, break and continue, etc. You have studied about the break with the switch statements. And auto, that is, it has a particular functions in C++ program. Like that, we have 60 words, nearly 60 words of keywords in C++ programs. Got it? Yes. Can you go for the next one? Yes. The next one is identifiers. Do you remembering about the variables and any function names or labels? Yes. The identifiers, which are the user-defined words. User can divide such words for a variable, as a variable, as a labels, or as a functions, which is representing a particular memory space for a programming language or which have a particular identify some operations. You have studied about the rules about identifiers, how to declare variables. Got an idea? Are you remembering what are the rules? Yes. It should start with the letters. The beginning it should be a letter and you can follow that particular numbers. But if it is a white space in between these letters, means it is an invalid identifiers. Like this, you have studied this, rules and the valid identifiers, is it? Yes. Got the idea about keyword and identifiers? Let's go for the next one. What is that? Main one? Yes, literals. The next one is about literals. Literals means it is a tokens. It's have a particular word, it's a reserved content or any identifiers which have a constant value, which will not change its value during the program run. Got an idea? The literals which cannot change its value during the program run. It is known as the constants. It is divided into different constants as integer constant. In this section, A is having value 3. After the program run only, we can change the value. Till that program, let's have the value as 3. And in character constant, we have that in a single quotes. This type of identifiers is known as character literals. So like this, white space, etc. are the literals. You are remembering now, I think, is it? Which we have done in the last year. Yeah. And next one is about operators. Can you say any different operators? It is seen in this. Operators is symbols which performs a particular operations with an operands. Is it? That is the symbols which we are using to perform a particular operations or a functions is known as operators. Generally, the operators is divided into different sections. The first one is the arithmetic operators. You know, we are using the arithmetic symbols, plus, minus, like that. We are using, and we have one more operator is modulus operator. You people are remembering, I think, modulus operators. Why we are using? What is the use of this? Yes, we are using for calculating the remainder or finding the remainder of an arithmetic operations. Okay, fine. Can we go for the next one? That is relational operator. It will identify the relations between the logical operations. That means any logical values. If it is A is less than B or A is greater than B, like this, it will give the relations. And next one is logical operators. Logical operators we are using for calculating or comparing the logical expressions. That means if it is A is greater than B means the logical function is A is greater than B. That means A have a value 3 and B have a value 1 means A is greater. So we are going to logically, yes, it is true. True and false is the logical outputs. Okay, fine. Yes. So what are the topics we have studied? The first one is keywords. Second one is identifiers. Third one is literals. Fourth one is operators. So next one is punctuators. The final topic. It is known as punctuators. Punctuators, it is special characters like comma, semicolon, hash and brackets, which will give an ending or a meaning for a programming statements. We will study about the statements, what is a statement in the next. So, for semicolon, it is a delimiter, it is the end of a statement. And if it is comma means, we are using to separate the contents. And if it is braces, it separates the functions. Is it? So these are the special meaning or special characters. So the such characters is known as punctuators. Clear? So these are the main topics: keywords, identifiers, literals, operators, and punctuators. Clear? So what is the topic? It is a building block of a programming language. Very good. So can we go for the next one, which we have studied in the last year? What is another main content in a programming language? After the building blocks, what is the next one? It is data types. Are you remembering what is it? what is it. So the first one is data types. What is the data type? It is to identify the type of data which is represented in a particular memory space in a particular programming language. In C++ program we have different set of values which have a particular memory space, which have to accommodate in a particular memory value. So we are differentiated into different data types. So what are the main data types? In the data type it is divided into two types. What are they? Can you see? Yeah, fundamental data types and derived data types. That is user-defined data types. What are the fundamental data types? The basic data types. It is known as fundamental data types. Let's see. All you are getting the idea about these fundamental data types, is it? Int about integer values. It's a particular memory type, memory size, and characters representing the English letters with single quote and double quote. And next one is float, which is representing the decimal values, and double, which represents a double data type, which is used for the real expression which is exceeding from the values. That is floating point which is exceeding the decimal values, if it is exceeding more than. In a calculation we can declare the double data type. And finally the void data type, which is used to represent any null set. In some cases in our program we have to declare the void data type. Okay, which is an empty value or have a zero memory size, which represents a zero memory size. Clear? So these are the main fundamental data types. And next is about the user-defined data types. You can see the keywords short, long, and sign. Why we are using this user-defined data types? That is, a programmer can declare its memory size by this one, use of a programmer. So the short, which is used to declare short memory size like integer, and next is long, which is used to represent a decimal values which is extended with 2 or 4 decimal points, and sign is used to represent a positive or negative values in an integer value, and unsigned, which is used for representing a positive value integers. Clear? So these are the different data types we have to study. That is fundamental data types and derived data types. Clear? Next we can go for the type modifiers. The keywords sign, unsigned, short and long are the type of modifiers. That is, which changes the data type. We can check expressions. Expressions are constituted by the operations. A meaningful operations with the operands and operators. So the variables which is using in an expression is known as operands, and the operators, the symbols which is using in the, it is known as operators. So these are the expression statements. And next is type conversions. It's a process of converting a data type from one type to another. Generally it is upgrading. Upgrading the data type during a program run. Clear? And let's have two types, implicit and explicit conversion. Implicit conversion, it is the doing by the during the time of program, and explicit conversion it is done by the programmer. So these are the another main contents which we have studied in the last year, and these are the overview of C++ program. And next we can see about statements in C++ programs. Can you say what is a statement? Yes. The first one is declaration statements. That is declaring the variables in a program by its data types. Is it? The first one is EVA num. We are declaring the variable a and num is in the integer data type. And here the total and area, these are variables in the float data type. And here character. Date is a variable which is in a character data type. Like this you can declare the variables which you have to use in a program. Clear? Declaring the variables with its data type. And next is about input statements. Here you have to input the value for a particular operations. In this you can use the user defined keyword cin. That is, you are inputting a value through a variable in that program. Here the operator double greater than symbol, which is used as extraction operator. That is get to. And next is about output statements. You are getting the results and you are using the keyword cout with the double less than symbol. That is known as extraction operator. Clear? Extracting the value. Like this we can declare the output and input statements. Such statements are known as cascading statements. Cascading input statements and cascading output statements. Clear? So what are the statements? Generally we have a program. In the first line it will be an integer declaring statement, and second one is input statement, and the third one is output statement. And finally the next one is assignment statement. In between the input and output statements we are using the assignment statement. You are assigning some values or some operations to a particular variables. Here n have the value 253 and here area is declared as by the calculations. Clear? These are the assignment statement. In this the equal to symbol it is using for assignment operator. Got an idea? Okay. And apart this we have another special assignment symbols that is known as arithmetic assignment operators. In some arithmetic operations you can use such symbols plus equal to, minus equal to, addition assignment operator, arithmetic operators. Here you can see the n plus equal to 2 means it is equivalent to n equal to n plus 2. And here it is a into equal to b means it is a equal to a into b. Like this you can use such arithmetic assignment operators. Apart this you have another two operators, that is increment and decrement operators, plus plus and minus minus symbol. If you are using that increment operators before the variable it is known as prefix pre-increment. And another one is if you are using after the variable means that is a plus plus, it is known as post increment. Okay? It is very important for the program run, so please keep in mind while we are doing in the practical session. Okay? That is pre-increment and post increment. Clear? Got an idea? Yes. So these are the main contents we have studied in our first year, and you got rebrush the contents, I think. So now let's see an example program. Okay. How a program can arrange. What are the statements which is including in a program? The first line which represents the header files, and here the hash include, which is known as preprocessor directive, which directs the program to the compiler or the header file iostream. Iostream is the header file. And next one is the namespace string. In Genie compiler you are using this content, that is which connects all the keywords which is reserved in the particular header files. And next one is int main, that is main function. Generally it is a program, it is in a particular structure as a function which performs a particular action, that is function. So main is an important function in every C++ program. which is the other content which is declared inside the particular. And next one is which is starting, the function which is starting with a double bracket. And here first you have, whatever the program, first you have to declare your variables which is including or performing in a particular program. And here it is declared the float, it's a data type, length, breadth and perimeter and area. We are going to calculate the area of a rectangle. So we have to get the value for length and breadth, and with this length and breadth we are calculating the area and perimeter. So you have to declare the variable length, breadth, perimeter and area. And next one is about, you have to enter or input the values. So you are getting an output command, that is you have to enter a values for length and breadth. That's why you are given the command here, enter the length and breadth of a rectangle. You are getting a statement to enter the values. And next is you are entering the value C in length and breadth. That is using the cascading statement. And next one is we are calculating the perimeter. This is an arithmetic expressions. That is we are using the arithmetic values to calculate. And same as the area, it is also an arithmetic statement. That is arithmetic expressions. And with this, finally you have calculated the perimeter and you have to display the value. That is C of perimeter. That is, here you will give the command as perimeter equal to. For understanding the output, what is the output you have displayed. And here NL means it will go for the next line. It's a special character we are using for the going for the next line. And the area will be printing in the next line. Clear? So these are the small structure of a program which is including, or we are calculating the area and perimeter of a rectangle, and we have the different statements in a program which is arranged in a sequence. Okay, students, did you got the idea how a program want to be arranged? Yes. The basic concept what you have studied, that is about data types, tokens and the keywords and the character sets, everything we are included in the program. So that's why we have rebrushed the content as an overview of C++. Clear? So I think you got an idea about these things. Let's go to the activity. You have 2 programs to write. Try to write that. I think you are all familiar with this question. So we'll see you in the next session. If you have any doubt, please contact me and complete your notes. You can write all the contents which are given in the slides, the basic data types, the keywords, tokens and everything we have discussed. Okay students, so have a nice day.